Welcome to the next episode of Candid Dialogue. Again, I'm your host, William Cooksey, and today we have such an incredible discussion that we're going to have with two entrepreneurs who not only are trying to make it happen for them, but their hearts have made it to where they're trying to make it happen for other people. So I want to introduce my first guest, Beasley, and then my second guest, Adrian Burney. Welcome to the show, fellas. So before we jump into the discussion about the nonprofits and the charities and everything, I just want you brothers to give a little breakdown of who you are, what you've accomplished, and what you're doing right now. So we'll go and start with Adrian first.
All right. Adrian Burney. I'm originally from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I've been here in Indianapolis probably about going on 7 years. I came here to take a job at a barber school as a barber instructor. And so I worked there for a couple years, and we all know it ain't nothing like doing your own thing, having your own schedule. And so it just made sense with my family, with my kids and stuff like that for me to kind of go back to just doing entrepreneurship type stuff. And so that's what I did. And then, fast forward to, let's say, COVID. That's when I got to kind of thinking about, barbering and how to drive impact using the platform of barbering. And so I was like, barbers are so underutilized. And so that's when I began Mended Arrows. And so we're doing a lot of different things in the community right now. On the Far East Side of Indianapolis, really all over Indianapolis. Got a few different programs that we're doing. But that's what we're doing right now, along with Redemption Barbershop. So kind of like the nonprofit and the for-profit world kind of merging that together. So that's kind of what I got going on right now.
Cool. Appreciate that. What about you, B?
Burney Beasley, right here from Indianapolis. Me and Cook, we go back. Professional basketball player at one point in time overseas. Was in a G League for a hot second. Injuries took that away from me, So I got some good years in overseas, but that didn't go through due to injuries, man. 7 surgeries, so I'm really like 52 in the body, man. Once that train stopped, I got into my fitness stuff. I had a fitness business called Prolific Performance. Had a gym, had a facility out on the west side. So like right after COVID and everything like that, it was really booming. I shut that down due to some flood and stuff, man. I had some real bad floods out there that kind of wiped me down. But in the midst of that, I was still doing my nonprofit, Triple Bless Inc. Start that in 2019. 2019 is when we started, man. We do just a little bit of everything, mentoring, all types of drives, giveaways. We got programs. We got Father Engagement Program just started. It's everything, man. Just giving back to my city. They gave me everything and made me who I am, man. That's basically what we about, man. Our slogan is to take us to save us, and I live by that. Like without us, what can we be? Everybody needs somebody, and I feel like I'm that somebody, for the city.
Absolutely.
No, that's real.
Gotcha.
But B, I appreciate that, man. And right now you also teach at school too, right?
Yeah. So just this year was my first year really having my first job ever. First real job ever. I teach strength and conditioning at Shortridge High School. Also assistant varsity basketball coach and strength and conditioning coach over there. So being in there, just being in I target the kids, mostly like that's my soft spot, the kids. So just being around all of them kids, it just showed like I should have been in like education in some form, you know what I'm saying? Around all them kids, inner city kids at that IPS, I'm an IPS kid. So I'm seeing all these IPS kids and I'm just like, dang, bro, it's like full circle. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish I had a me inside of my school, like how I am for them. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever it's a problem, like boys and girls, white, black, like everybody in that school love Coach B, man. And it tug in my heart, man, for real, being around them kids and just seeing how everybody gravitate to me and rock with me. Like I should have been doing that. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes hand in hand with the organization.
Yeah.
So I'm loving it for real.
No, that's good. And that was going to be my next question is, for both of y'all, what pushed you towards the charitable organization that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I know that, as we all grew up, we all seen certain things just growing up. And then you see people who have money and you think, man, why ain't they giving back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I know you two personally and I see what you're doing,
Right.
what pushed you towards that?
That's a good question. It's kind of hard to explain because it's something I've been doing before it became a nonprofit. I think that when you really give back, you don't just start giving back when it's a nonprofit.
Right.
You kind of contextualize that once you realize, about the nonprofit, because we know the nonprofit is just a business, but it's not focused on
Right.
necessarily money first. It's about the cause first. And so, like I said at the beginning, the thing that drove me to, at least start the nonprofit, like I said, I already been doing it, was I just felt like barbers were underutilized. I feel like barbers are only used for back to school haircuts, but they're not really used for community engagement and initiatives. Because you think about it, Will, you come to the barbershop, you know what I mean, in your good times, probably about every other week when you're not busy doing stuff, you know what I mean? So you think about the proximity and the frequency, let's say if you were going through something, or let's say you were at-risk youth or opportunity youth or just as involved adult, and you come to get a haircut, by someone who has a mindset, a barber that has a mindset of, I don't want to just provide a quality haircut. I want to think about this brother's mental, emotional well-being. You know what I mean? So that proximity and frequency of you coming every 2 weeks, is some brothers that come every week, come get a haircut. I mean, at probably at the worst, maybe once a month. And so that opportunity right there for impact, other nonprofits, they have to really, put themselves in a space to attract, the targeted people that, or groups of young men that they're trying to reach. But as a barber, they come to you. You know what I mean? So when I thought about that, I was like, it's just kind of like a no-brainer. And then started partnering with different organizations. Then it all clicked. It's making sense. And then not just that, I mean, we all can't do everything. I can't do everything. Mr. Beasley, you can't do everything. Will, you can't do everything. So we got to duplicate ourselves, you know what I mean, through training. And so we do the Healing Centered Barber training, because it may be brothers and sisters that already been doing this type of work, but it just hadn't been, this type of way. So it's about repurposing barbering, you know what I mean, to where we just ain't cutting hair for, exchanging dollars. We're cutting hair that not only are we transforming the outside, but we're hoping to transform the inside. You know what I mean? So
now that's a good segue into why you're doing it. And I appreciate that. I mean, we talk about this all the time at the shop. So what would you say was your reason why you got into the Triple Blessed?
Kind of like he was saying, man, like it already got to be in you.
Yeah.
Like he was saying, the nonprofit, the 501c3 being, sanctioned and everything like that, that's just the business side of it. It really got to be in you. You really got to be that type of person, like, and wired up like that to the fullest. Like, I always been a giver. Even like before the whole nonprofit stuff, like when I did my first event, I didn't know nothing about being a nonprofit. You know what I'm saying? So like the first thing that I did was Thanksgiving turkey drive. And it wasn't even really like a turkey drive. Like me and my girl, was just sitting at the crib and was just like, I was like, man, I want to do something for Thanksgiving. And she was like, man, let's give away some turkeys. Next thing you know, we got 500 turkeys sitting in my gym. And just made a post like, hey, somebody needs some help, you know what I'm saying, come get a turkey. And that right there at the same time with my fitness business, like they was just driving each other, man. So for me, it's just like I always been a giving dude. Everybody around me know that if you need it and I got it, it's yours. You know what I'm saying? I get a shirt off my back, and that's what it boils down to me. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to the kids, when it comes to helping out somebody with whatever, it's just if you a giving person genuinely with no strings attached, looking for nothing in return, then I feel like you'll have some success in this business.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what made y'all like that? Because that's kind of rare. And we've all had
Absolutely.
personal conversations. And so when I remember when you started, and then I remember when he was telling me about what he was doing, because with my charity, it wasn't even supposed to be that.
Yeah.
Right.
I just was at the Dodgers game, happened to have tickets to a suite, and went to the suite, and it was me and 30 empty chairs, something like that. And I was like, this don't feel right.
Yeah.
So I just went and found a father and son. I was like, what y'all doing? Where y'all sitting at? We up there. Well, come on down here with me.
Yeah.
And I just remember how good it made me feel
Right.
watching them have a good time. There's a kid, he jumped up and down for 9 straight innings. He wore me out. I was exhausted watching him. But I was like, man, this is crazy. So then after the game was over with, I'm texting people, told them what happened.
Yeah.
And they was like, bro, this is what you need to do. And I was like, do what? I'm thinking this is what everybody would do.
Right.
But then once you start talking to people, everybody's not like that.
Yeah.
So what makes you like that?
I would say it was 2 witnesses, and the first witness was it was something that's just just in me. You know what I mean? Those that are doing the work, that's really doing the work, they can't even explain it. They can't explain why they do what they do. But the second thing is, I had 2 parents that I saw giving. And it helped me to realize that's what I come from. I come from, I saw my dad, taking his mother, his grandmother to the store every weekend. I saw him, coming alongside of my family members who needed a place to stay and open up our home to do it. I saw my mom, trying to help her nieces, and I saw my mom, how she interacted with some of my friends, on the block where I was raised in Fort Wayne, Euclid and Pontiac in Fort Wayne. And, I just saw how, I go get a haircut. If I got friends there, guess who else getting a haircut? They getting a haircut. If we eating Pizza Hut, you know what I mean? And some of my buddies don't come from that, you know what I mean? Because Pizza Hut was a big thing back then, you know what I mean? So if we eating Pizza Hut, guess who else eating Pizza Hut? It ain't like, some parents was like, tell them kids they got to go, because we about to eat. It wasn't none of that. It was like, let's make a longer table. And so that's what kind of helped me to, that's what planted those seeds, for what I'm doing right now. And I'm trying to do the same thing with my kids.
Yeah. What would you say?
I would say just being that person that I wish I had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And not necessarily meaning like needing help with Christmas time or food or nothing like that. It's just like knowing what it feels like to need some help and not having it there. You know what I'm saying? That right there, it like you said, it's hard to explain it, but it just puts something in you to where like I don't want to see nobody else struggling with nothing that they need some help with, because I know that feeling. It ain't no good feeling to have when you really need some help with something and you look to your right or your left and it's like ain't nobody there to help you with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I, dedicated myself to be, is just, and it's hard, you know what I'm saying? Heavy is the head, you feel me? So it gets hard, it gets frustrating sometimes, but I know that's what I signed up to be for NAP.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's why all 3 of us, I've clicked with you too, is because I just assume this is what everybody do. But then you learn really
Absolutely.
quick.
Yeah.
Everybody don't think like that.
Yeah.
I'm just that. I've always been that guy who's like, if I got it and you need it, you ain't got to ask me.
Yeah.
I know you need it. Hey man, here you go.
Yep.
What you need for me to do. And then I think that's one of the ups and downs that I've had to deal with in entrepreneurship, is that I've always assumed people looked at it how I looked at it. And I had to get my head cracked to the pink meat.
Come on.
But until I realized, these dudes ain't like how I am.
Right.
I ain't no better than nobody.
Right.
I just see it a little bit
Absolutely.
different. So, and I think that was how I was raised too, being around, different people, seeing different things. So would you say that it's the representation of positive influences that made you who you are? You said your parents, would y'all agree with that?
I would say positive influence. I was around some good influences, but I was around a whole lot of bad ones too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I learned, man, my pops, man, was around, man. That's my dude, man. Great father. You know what I'm saying? But I learned from him kind of like in reverse. You know what I'm saying? I learned everything not to do. You know what I'm saying? You're a street dude to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? And he'd always tell me and my brother, like, hey, y'all better not do none of this. You feel me? Y'all be better than me. So I learned everything not to do from Pops. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like, oh, this what I seen what he's doing. Like, I want to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was it kind of like in reverse. You know what I'm saying? So I learned from all the negatives. All my role models had gold teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not saying this, you know what I'm saying, nothing wrong with it.
We get it, yeah.
Cars on Dayton's and everything like that when I was younger and stuff like that. So it was like, I'm gonna go this way a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's how I would say that.
What you say?
I would say that anybody who was raised in the inner city, you got a choice. You know, you see the two different directions, because I grew up in the 80s, you know, and so I kind of came on the tail end of the glory of the Black community. So I got an opportunity to see how it was before drugs really ravaged our community. And so what that did for me is that at least gave me something to hold on to. Like some of the younger generation, Mr. Beasley, I don't know when you were born, but some of the younger generation, they didn't really get a chance to kind of bask in some of that glory, to see how it was. Because to be honest with you, I tell a lot of people this in the chair. When I was growing up, you know, it was weird to see a single parent household. Me growing up, and I lived in the inner city. There was a time, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure it was the same way in Indy, you know what I mean? And then I saw the shift. You know what I mean? I saw the shift in the 90s to where now it's weird to see a 2-parent household. And that kind of happened in the span of almost like 10 years. So that came in getting back to your question. So what kind of caused me to is wanting to get our people back to that through the vehicle of barbering. Talking about, you know what I mean, getting our young men to try to change their mindset. Why I got their ear for that half hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And so just want to see us get back, you know what I mean? And then go, you know what I mean, go higher. You know, so that's some of the reasons for me.
Yeah. But that makes a lot of sense because both of y'all deal with youth.
Yeah.
And right now I think everybody can agree there's a crisis going
Absolutely.
on when it comes to our youth. So how does your charity focus on the youth?
So I reach the youth through fitness, through basketball training, through mentoring. I got a mentoring program called Each One Teach One. So just getting through them, man, trying to get them right around the age of like 10. You know, that's really the age that I'm trying to focus on getting these kids, because that's, you know, get them right there and then when they hit double digits in them preteen years, man, if you can mold them and put the right stuff in their ear before they become teenagers, because that's when they get real. You know what I'm saying? They get 15, 16, man, and that's when they make them life decisions that can alter them, you know what I'm saying, forever. So I got a dude, man, he an officer, and I got some statistics from him and everything like that. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to get a center. I was trying to get a center, man, but, you know, some stuff ended up falling through, so that's another story. So what I was going to do was I was going to bus out, and it's probably what I still do. I'm going to bus out to all these different neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, so we can try to get those age groups in, 10 to about 16, and you know, dealing with whatever sport y'all, you know, interested in, train them, mentor them, and everything like that. Because the statistic is for all the zip codes, you got Hallville, you got 2G, you got Brightwood, you got Post Road, all of them. Those are the worst ones. The statistic is from the ages of 16 to 21, 70% of the murders are Black males in that age range. You know what I'm saying? 16 to 21. So if we can get them before they hit that 16, you know what I'm saying, just to turn them in a different direction and everything like that, that statistically drops, the percentage drops drastically. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to focus on, getting them before they get to that age to where, like, man, I ain't trying to hear nothing y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So you get them while they still a sponge, you know, and put the right stuff in their ear, you know, lead them the right way and stuff like that. And that's where the change is gonna happen.
Absolutely.
What would you say?
Well, how we're hoping to make an impact, and we're hoping that we're planting seeds right now, is obviously again through barbering,
Yeah.
mentorship, but again challenging cultural norms. We have customs and traditions in the Black community. You're not a real. I can't say the word right.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say the word?
Now you don't get us.
Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
You're not a real one
Yeah,
if
we
you
get
ain't
you.
been to prison.
Yeah.
You're not a real one if you ain't knocking them down. Females. And so we got these customs and traditions that we don't talk about because we don't have a lot of Black men that talk. When they like Mr. Beasley said, we get to a certain age, you don't hear young Black men talking.
Mm-hmm.
They just now start to stare and look.
Yep.
They like stoic, you know what I mean? And so I get a lot of flack, because I'm going in challenging, you know what I mean, you to talk. You know what I mean? I'm gonna meet you right there. You know what I mean? To let you know we can have a heated discourse, and don't nobody got to pull no pistols. Don't nobody got to talk about, I'm about to, do something to you. We're gonna have a heated exchange. You know what I mean? I'm challenging our young people to go against what King Von said. I'm challenging our young people to go against what Lil Durk's saying. I'm challenging our young people. Yeah, they look like you. These young men look like you, but they've been chosen to promote a lifestyle that's keeping the system and the engine going in our community, that keeps destroying. Because mentorship, we didn't have all these mentorship groups when I was growing up as a kid, but that goes to show you that something has happened. You know what I mean? To where we got all these mentorship groups now. You know what I mean? So we kind of keep putting a Band-Aid on on a greater problem. You know what I mean? To where we got to really start talking about the system. You know what I mean? And how this is impacting our community. And so it's easy to give, Mr. Beasley 50 grand. It's easy to give me 150 grand to kind of pacify the issue instead of going to the top and talking about how can we really create reform in our community. And so we're doing that through barbering. We're hoping that we can grow and not just do mentoring, but hopefully it kind of get to a place to where we're providing an education in terms of a barber school, because I could do all the mentoring I want to, but if it's not going to put no money in these kids' pocket and give them a career path, what am I really doing? Yeah, you can look back and say, well, Mr. Burney really helped me out, but it's going to make a big difference. You only got to say, Mr. Burney helped me out. You can say, I got my barber license. And so that's what we hoping to do more of, to take it from the mentoring that we're doing to really make a greater impact to where we could teach them how to fish instead of giving them a fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when I look at what you both are doing, it's real important, because when you think about the young people, like your barber, giving them something to look forward to, career, you're talking about sports, health. Not only does that keep them busy, but I think it also impacts their mental health.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a major issue right now, is that our young people, they're so angry, which they have every right to be with everything that's going on, because they haven't developed the sense of how to cope with that anger.
Yeah.
We're seeing it the way that it is. So you're talking about at-risk youth, right? But you also help at-risk adult, because you help me. I'm an at-risk adult, because I'm
Me
an
too,
entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? Man, we go through it every single day.
Yeah.
And I'll tell anybody, a haircut changed your whole
Absolutely.
life. There be times where I'm stressed out, I'm going through some stuff. I get on I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to give me a haircut.
Absolutely.
I go get that haircut.
Yeah.
The sun is shining a little bit brighter. Man, I'd be out for no reason. I'd be at the store. I got a bug. I ain't even got nothing in it. I'm going down aisles that we don't even got no pets. I'm going down a dog aisle. How you doing? Good to see you. You got that fresh haircut and make you feel better.
Absolutely.
So I can understand how haircuts will make a person feel better.
Absolutely.
I know how I feel when I'm going to the gym regularly. You getting in shape, you feel good, your clothes fit good.
Absolutely.
So when you look at what both of you are trying to do, what's the future of your businesses? And with what the future is, how can someone help you get to what you're trying to get to in the future?
You know what? I think that there's only so much that we as black folks can do for one another.
Mm-hmm.
We can share the posts because a lot of us ain't exchanging no dollars with one another. You know what I mean?
That's
Unless
true.
some illegal stuff.
Yeah.
For the most part. Yeah, I could say, well, I know this person. I'm gonna put you in contact. Half the time, we don't even really follow through. And so, what we really need is the people who got power to share their influence. You know what I mean? And so, and that's a person I want to give a shout out to. Now, there's, and you know what? I was just about to say something, but I gotta retract what I said. There are two individuals down at the foundation, the Indianapolis Foundation, that has really went to bat for Mended Arrows. And one of them is Alicia Collins, and another one is Lena Hill. And
Okay.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of other people there too that was behind the scenes doing some things, and some consultants that we've been fortunate enough to get to kind of help us, grow our organization and scale it. Roderick Wheeler, but there's a white guy that I met at the cigar lounge. I was like, well, I done picked up this habit of smoking cigars, you know what I mean? But I'm like, it's networking. So like, I went down there and I was talking to another white guy. I don't know, can I say white guy?
Yeah. That's legal, right?
Yeah. And so I was telling him about what we got going on and stuff. And he was like, you need to meet my friend. You need to meet my buddy, Eric. And the minute I told this guy about Mended Arrows and about the work that we're doing in the community and the work that we want to start doing, I'm talking about every person he knows in the nonprofit world, he almost put me in contact with. And so that's what we need. And it's not to say that we need white folks, but the reality is that, we all know that a lot of us in our community is lagging in a lot of different things. And so he shared his influence and helped us to get in position. And so I would say if anybody could help my organization, Mr. Beasley's organization, what you got going on, it'd be to share your influence. And don't be afraid to mention somebody's name in a room.
Come on.
Instead of saying, hey, let me try to get this for myself. You know what I mean? Just make that table longer.
What would you say, B?
Like he was saying, man, it's sharing that influence. Like he said, don't be afraid to say nobody's name and everything like that, man. I got a dude, his name is Aaron Green. His organization is called Struggle Made Me. And that's my guy, man. Like we do that all the time. He say my name in rooms that I ain't in. I say his name in rooms that he ain't in. And that working together, man, key is, the working together factor is key.
Absolutely.
Like so many people are trying to outdo other people, especially in this nonprofit world, man. It's almost become a gimmick now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just trying to just have a nonprofit now, but is everybody really doing the work?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's getting watered down. It's getting oversaturated. That's also almost a problem why they don't want to give out these funds. You know what I'm saying? So quickly like they used to, because everybody's not doing the right thing with them.
Right.
90% of the people's not doing the right thing with the bread. I'm almost 7 years in. I haven't received a single government dollar. Everything I do is out of my pocket.
Wow.
So if anybody will question if I'm genuine or not,
Wow.
check my bank statements.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I remember how much you spent on the first round of turkeys that one year? It was
11.
Yeah. I remember you telling me.
Year in, year out.
Yeah.
We spending about 10, 11,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Donations come in, but they minimal compared to what donations come in. I always tell my girl, all right, we see what we got in donations, whatever else we need, you know what I'm saying? We gonna cover it. You know what I'm saying? So just working together, man, is important, but you got to have other genuine people doing it with you, man. Because I done got burned 2, 3, 4 times, man, thinking that somebody's really genuine, they talking a good game, and then when it come down to it, like, oh, you done got me for this, done try to do this, and try to do that, then it's discouraging. You know, it make you want to just be like, man, I don't want to do this no more. But then you got to revert back to why you started in the first place. You know what I'm saying? We ain't started for no dollars. We ain't started for you know what I'm saying, to just be like, oh, I need a grant or this or that. Like, you did it for a reason, and I'm gonna stay true to that reason. I mean, and far as like where I see it in the future, I don't know if I got a concrete answer for it. You know, I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing, you know, how I've been doing it, true to it. And wherever that takes me, whatever doors that open up, you know, then you know, I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. But for right now, I'm completely fine. If I don't, you know, go to another level with it, I'm completely fine doing it the same exact way that I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? But like, of course, everybody want their business to grow, want it to be better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe nationwide. Like, people done asked me that before. Would you know, consider ever going nationwide? I mean, maybe. You know, but right now I don't got to. It ain't broke. I'm fine with the way it's going. Then, you know, we good.
Yeah. Man, y'all said something, both of y'all said something really interesting, because a lot of times we ask people that question, the first thing they say is money.
Right.
I need money, I need money, I need money. But to hear two people that's in it say, no, we just need that network.
Absolutely.
We just need that camaraderie. We just need to say my name when I ain't there. I'm going to say your name. And I've always felt that. You know, yeah, we need money, but there's people that you touch I don't even know exist. Right. Same with you. Yep. There's people that I touch, and that's one thing that I appreciate about you both is that y'all share with me, and I've shared with y'all.
For sure.
And didn't even like, hey, man, what question. You gonna do for me? Yeah. It was just, you know, early this year, we had an opportunity to get some free tickets to the Mad Ants. So I knew he had a basketball team. They gave me like 25, 30 tickets. I didn't need all them tickets.
Yeah.
So I just, B, you want to take your kids? Man, they got on the school bus and came to the game. And I was just thinking, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're supposed to do. Instead of me holding on to it and I take me and my sons and then the other 20 tickets I throw away.
Right.
Why would I do that? But that's what people do. Instead of reaching out and helping one another. Adrian done turned me on to people. I done turned him on to people. We trying to figure something out because he's deal with the mental health. We're working on something with some big people that deal with that.
Absolutely.
I don't need nothing from him.
Yeah.
I just wanted to work for you. Just like I know you wanted to work for me.
Absolutely.
But the problem is, there's 3 of us like that. There's 100 of us that's not like that.
Right.
So it causes the ups and the downs and the roller coaster ride that comes with being an entrepreneur. So I always ask people who's an entrepreneur this question because I need to know, how do you handle the downs? Because that's tough. Right. Especially when that's all you seeing is the downs. You get very few ups. So how do you brothers handle the downs?
That's a great question. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes they handle me. I wish I could give you this nice little pretty answer about, I mean, because this is candid conversation.
Yeah, but that's the best answer because I need to hear that.
And so, you know, sometimes I don't handle it. Sometimes I revert back to some old ways of handling it. Yeah. And then I got to kind of shake back and be like, you know what I mean? But I wouldn't be able to set right if I couldn't say that sooner or later I kind of pull myself up and you know, get back on my knees because that's kind of where it all comes down to, getting on my knees and praying, you know what I mean, asking God for strength, because sometimes we have the downs, at least for me, is because sometimes I get beside myself, you know, especially for some of us who've come back from who come from troubled backgrounds, we get beside ourselves a little quicker than other people who've been parented correctly. To, you know, when you get high, you got a dad telling you, come on down, boy. Or you got a mom telling you, come on down, you know what I mean? But when you was a latchkey kid, you know what I mean, like myself, you got to kind of, you know what I mean? You got to kind of get hit upside the head with some of those downs. And then sooner or later, I remember, you know, God saying, okay, you know, you're going to come back to this space of putting me first. And so to answer your question, that's kind of how I... and on my good days, handle my downs, you know.
That's powerful. B, how you handle them?
I just always look at it as, like, I look at it like where I come from. You know what I'm saying? I always, you know what I'm saying? I've always been an underdog. So I look at everything like that, sports, life, whatever. I always been an underdog. the odds always been stacked against me. So I'm just built like I always gotta face some BS.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's with everything, with business, with life, with family, with sports. You know what I'm saying? Like I just told you, bro. I done been through. I ain't never had a healthy season of basketball, man. I've been playing basketball since I was 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I always found a way to make it shake to where, you know what I'm saying, I got the scholarships, I got a couple contracts, you know what I'm saying, like that. So it ain't nothing that I can't handle, you know. Eventually, like he said, some days they handle me. They you know what I'm saying, it's take a toll on you. But it, you know, like I had a conversation with my mama one day, man, just talking to her about everything that I done been through. And it came out of my mama's mouth like, hey, bro, you easily could not be here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You easily could be dead. Just everything that you done been through, I won't get into it, you know what I'm saying? But she's like, bro, you easily can be dead, bro. So it's no reason for nothing to really get you that down. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing that you can't handle. And I look at everything like that, man. Money problems, life problems, whatever problem it is. Yeah, it's a problem, but all right, solve it.
Yeah.
Handle it. You signed up for it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be okay. At the end of the day, man, it's always going to be okay. If you just got any type of dog about you or any type of drive about you and you a go-getter, as an entrepreneur, you have no choice but to be a dog, a go-getter.
Got to.
You know what I'm saying? You going to figure it out. It may be sooner, it may be later. You know, you just got to, it all depends on the season. You know what I'm saying? Like, you going to be all right at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
This is why I wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Is because these answers, because there's somebody that's going to watch it in the position where they may be in one of them downs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's easy to think it's only me. Because I've had those moments where you look on social media, like, man, he on vacation again? Oh, he just got this. He's got his business doing this. What am I doing wrong?
Right.
A lot of it, I could be doing something wrong, but it's just, you just got to keep on fighting.
Yeah.
And them downs sometimes, like my kids, they see it because we spend a lot of time together. So a lot of times I shield my downs from my family so they don't feel it.
Right.
So they may think everything is going good. They don't know. I'm great. Go in my room, ball up in a fetal position. I'm great. Break out and cry. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And then I come out and, hey, y'all want to do this?
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
have no idea.
Right.
But that's how you handle it sometimes. Like you said, you get mad. Just like, man, why does this always happen to me? How come I can't break through the glass ceiling?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why it's important you have these conversations like, okay, it ain't just me. You know, there's other people struggling. Because entrepreneurs, the worst thing I think they can do is look at social media and judge their success off of social
Oh,
media.
yeah. It's an illusion.
Man, it's an illusion.
It's an illusion, man.
Because I post the good things that I want you to see. So I assume everybody else is doing that.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna post.
I'm not posting balled up like this
ain't nobody
crying, you
posting
know.
that. Ain't nobody posting
But
that.
if more people were transparent when they have these conversations,
Right.
I think it would benefit a lot of people.
Absolutely.
But, you know, we just all keep fighting. You keep trying to do what you got to do to stay positive, but it ain't easy, man.
Absolutely.
And I tell people all the time when they, hey, man, I want to be, you don't want to do this.
You don't want this.
If you can get you a job that you can provide for your family, have some type of freedom, you ain't got to compromise what you believe in to do that job, keep that job. Because this over here, you got to be crazy. Like, for real, like me and my wife, we were talking, she'd be like, I don't know how you keep going. I would have been quit. And I'd be thinking, you right, I'm going to quit. I done quit probably 2,000 times.
Yeah.
I ain't even going to lie, I done quit.
Yeah.
I quit 2 weeks ago.
Hey.
I'm ready to go get me a job. Now, what am I going to do? I ain't got no skills. I ain't went to no school. So I'm going to be at FedEx. I'm going to be at UPS. I'm going to do something else.
But if it was easy, everybody would do it though.
Everybody.
That's what.
That's true. That's a cliche.
Yeah,
Everybody
it
say
is.
if it was
Yeah.
easy, everybody would do
Straight
it. It's
up.
like, but that's the honest truth.
But it's even like I use an analogy with sports with everything, man. If it was easy, everybody would be Kobe, everybody would be Jordan, everybody would be LeBron, everybody would be Magic. You know, like if it was that easy to be good, then everybody will have 40,000 points
Yeah.
in the league, man. So you gotta become obsessed with it. You know, and a lot of people that are obsessed with things, like you said, you got to be crazy.
Yeah.
They're going to look at you crazy. Like that people think Kanye West is crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can't, I'll be a crazy billionaire too.
Yeah.
You know, if it's
Yeah.
going to get me there. But it's just like, man, you got to lock in with yourself, be in tune with yourself, be in tune with your goals. Like you said, people see that social media stuff, man, and they get so attached to it, and they get to comparing their life to other people's probably lies. You know what I'm saying? You trying to compare your reality to something that's false, you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to drive yourself into depression.
After, like straight
real.
up, for real.
Yeah.
Our first episode, we had a conversation, and I want to ask y'all this too. What does success look like to y'all when it comes to what y'all trying to do?
That's a great question. To be honest with you, I would say being in places of influence to be able to open up doors for other people. You know, for me, in terms of the organization, whether it be for profit, you know, my barbershop, or whether it be not for profit, Mended Arrows, is getting in a position to where I can open up doors for other people. So for me, that's what success looks like. You know, it's to be influential and to use that influence to benefit somebody else's life.
B, what's your success look like?
Success for me, man, is consistency and impact. I'm have you ever seen the movie is it Troy? It's like an old sport movie with the fighter dude Achilles. Like with him, he didn't care about the money, he didn't care about the women, he didn't care about nothing but except for when he's dead, everybody remember his name. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, that's what success is. When I'm dead and gone, and like 60 years from now, everybody remembers who was impacted by Triple Bless. Everybody just remember that. You know what I'm saying? Damn, remember that? Remember what was that name? Triple Bless, man, when they gave us this or they did this for that. That's what success is for me. When I'm dead and gone, you know what I'm saying? My kids is grown, got their own kids and everything like that, and their own families and their own traditions, that Triple Bless is still around and people still remember the impact that Triple Bless had on their lives and their people and around the city. That's what success is for me.
That's powerful.
Yeah, that is powerful. And the reason why I asked that question is because when we were talking last week, I truly believe that success is relative to the person. But people try to jumble success into being one thing.
Absolutely.
And if you fall into that, you're never going to attain it because there's just certain things that I'm never going to be.
Yeah.
Like if someone sets the bar at Elon Musk, you're going to make the type of money that he make. I'm not going to make that ever. So if that's my bar that I'm looking at, I'm going to feel depressed. I'm going to feel dejected. And so that's why I want to ask you how y'all felt about it, because I want everybody who watches this that's trying to do something, you got to find out what your success is.
Absolutely.
Because if you look at me, you're not going to be able to do what I'm doing. I may not be able to do what you're doing, but I can look at what I've accomplished and say, man, I'm pretty successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that everyone needs to keep in mind when you get into this entrepreneur game. That's the first thing you need to try to figure out. Now, it's probably going to change.
Yeah.
You know, because your success may be, I want to make $1 million. Okay, once you hit $1 million, you're going to go for something else. Now I want to get to 10. You want to keep going. But I don't think a lot of people get into it figuring out what their success is because they watching other people.
Yeah.
Do y'all agree with that? You think that's dangerous?
I don't think success should be a destination. You know, I think a lot of us, we feel like that has to be a destination. Like once we get this, once we get there. But kind of like, you know, what I feel like Mr. Beasley is kind of alluding to, you know, is success is a marathon. And it should be, you know, where we start to think about legacy. You know, because that's what I believe I heard you say it.
Yes,
it's
sir.
about legacy. And to be honest with you, I got 7 kids. And I'm still thinking about, you know, getting myself in a better position so I can be there for them, be there for them in a better a better space. And so I can't say that I've necessarily made the transition all the way to thinking about legacy. And I think that that's what success should be, is about legacy. But I think we need to kind of like, kind of dismiss the idea of success being a destination, but being a marathon. I think LeBron James says strive for success. Like just kind of having something to strive for. And I think having kind of like those mental pictures and even the visions of what does my life look like, once I'm dead and gone, whether that be my kids or whether the things I leave behind that have made an impact. I think them are the things that we should begin to start kind of making preparation for. You know what I mean? And that as we're working towards that, now we're not so easily influenced by money. We're not so easily influenced by some of the things that in our culture that we consider to be success. Kind of putting our mind on something so much more higher, to where we're misunderstood. I think that's what, because we brought up Kanye, right?
Yeah.
I believe, somebody I'm pretty sure will argue with me. I believe that he has his mind on something to where he's become so disassociated with culture, and the people have become so disassociated with him because he kind of has his mindset somewhere else. And I think that that's kind of what faith is, right? Us living in a different reality while, moving through this world. You know what I mean? And so that's why we could, do things, why Mr. Beasley can spend $11,000 on turkeys and other people say, oh, why does his brother spend $11,000 on turkey? He could use that money to go do something else because his reality is somewhere else and people, they kind of misunderstand you. So I think that success means that you also have to kind of be comfortable with people misunderstanding you. And I think that we want to be accepted so bad that we'll kind of like cower down and dumb ourselves down and kind of hide our light so that we can't be accepted. And I think it's particularly bad in our community because you're not a real one again. If you don't dress a certain way, you don't talk a certain way, you don't listen to certain type of music, you don't smoke herb, you don't do a lot of this stuff, we're quick to cancel each other. You know what I mean? And so we got to be cool with being canceled.
Man, you said something important about being uncomfortable. When you're an entrepreneur, you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to be uncomfortable more than you're comfortable, especially when you get started.
Absolutely.
Ice Cube said something that if you think you're going to make money in the first 10 years, you need to do something else. Can you imagine doing something for 10 years?
Before you make $1.
Before you make $1, and everybody around you is saying, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And why don't you do that? And you keep saying, yeah, I ain't won yet. It's year 9, but I'm going to keep on going.
Absolutely.
That takes something different that a lot of people don't have.
I agree.
And I think a person's got to find what drives him. And you mentioned something, and I want to ask y'all both because I know y'all both got kids. Do you think that your kids is one of the biggest driving forces that you got?
I would say it is, my kids, because at the end of the day, I want my children to be proud of me. I want them to be proud of me. I want them to be able to hold their head up high if I'm dead and gone and be like, that was my father and that's what I come from. And so I do majority of what I do for my children. I definitely want them to be proud of me,
B, what about you, bro?
My kids for sure.
Yeah.
My oldest son, Lil Brandon, he biggest fan with everything I do. From hooping, like he done seen daddy dunk on boys. He done seen daddy pass out turkeys. He done seen daddy foster other people's kids. He done seen daddy do everything. And when I say he's locked in on everything that I got going on, he know my schedule. He know when it's time for us to do this and be like, hey, when we gonna start getting ready for this? We're gonna start getting ready for that. Like just seeing him, and he 12 now, just seeing him have the heart that he got at 12, like I didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? Like at 12, he wasn't seeing the stuff that I was seeing. You know what I'm saying? He's seeing a whole nother side of life than I was seeing at 12. So just seeing him being so locked in on what I got going on, whether it's basketball, whether it's coaching, whether it's whatever I'm doing, and him being invested on his own. I ain't forcing him to do nothing. I don't even force him to play basketball. He loved the game on his own. He played baseball. That's all on him. He got his own mind. I don't force him to do nothing. I don't force him to come with me to do stuff with the organization. He wants to be there. So for me to see him like that at 12, I gotta keep going. You know what I'm saying? And then he got 2 little brothers that's gonna see his daddy and his big brother and their big brother doing that same stuff. And they got a dope mama too. Man, it's definitely my kids. They in good hands, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, and see, that is something that, when I go through my ups and downs when it comes to this entrepreneurship, my sons are
Absolutely.
some of the first things that come into my mind. I always think, okay, I want to help my mom 'cause she's going to be 60-something years old. I got a sister. But I always think about my wife. But I always think about my kids because they watch you, right? You don't even know that they watching when they watching. So I know how my sons watch me.
Yeah.
So if I quit at every little turn when there's turmoil or things ain't going right for me, why would they keep going?
Yep.
Absolutely.
In anything, it don't matter what it is. If they got a daddy that's going to quit every time it gets tough, why would they keep fighting? So I think about that. But you said something, both of y'all said something. Man, you just want your kids to be proud of you.
Absolutely.
Yep.
When you on your ups, they're celebrating with you.
Yeah.
But when you on your downs, my kids don't know that when they come shake up, hey, Dad, love you. I'm like,
That's that pick me up. You need it.
ooh, I'm like, boy, you gonna make me start crying, boy.
Absolutely.
But they don't know that because
Yeah.
I try not to let them see when I'm in my downs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, all my kids, all my sons, I love. And that's the thing about kids, and y'all can attest, you can have multiple kids. You can love them all the same, but love them different. But you love them the same.
Yeah.
You don't pick one
totally
over
agree.
the other.
Right.
You just have different relationships with them.
Yep.
I could say my first son, I was really young. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Then my second son, I got a little bit better.
Yeah.
I still didn't know what I was doing because I was young.
Yeah.
But now that I got my youngest son, I think he's got the better version of me
Yeah.
because now I'm secure with who I
Absolutely.
am.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I done lived and learned. But the good thing about my second oldest son, he's still around me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he can see the progression in me as a father.
Right. Yeah.
Hopefully that, Dad was tripping when I was your age.
Yeah.
That's how kids talk.
Yeah.
When I was your age, Dad did this.
Yep.
Yeah, I probably did scream and yell a little bit more than I do now because I realize that don't work.
Yeah.
I got to really talk to you, learn you, and all those things. So that's just, I always like to ask those questions because I know what gets me going.
Absolutely.
But hey man, what y'all do? How you kids? My kids do this for me, and it's just I think our kids need to see that.
Absolutely.
So hopefully, good mentors,
Yeah.
good examples.
Absolutely.
Because that's one thing that we do when we talk about our charity. We try to help fathers that setting a good example.
Mm-hmm.
But you said something earlier about your pops. You look at him, so you want to go the other way.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I think it may not make no sense, but bad examples can also be good examples because it's showing you what I want to be.
Yeah.
It don't mean you don't love that person
Right.
any less, but it's like I see what you had to go through
Mm-hmm.
to help us,
Yep.
but I'm gonna try to do it a different way
Mm-hmm.
so that my kids can see a positive spin on what it's like to be a man living in this world.
Absolutely.
Because it's really, really difficult. But this is why you got to have these type of conversations. Like, very rarely you look on TV, they're not having this. Their favorite sports star is not really reaching them like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
They may post and do things, but they wanted to buy something.
Mm-hmm.
Pay some money to come see them at the game
Right.
for a ticket or whatever. So what all three of us is really trying to do with our different foundations, I think is really, really commendable that you brothers is trying to do that.
Yeah.
So here's my final question. It's for both of y'all. Because no one does anything by themselves.
Right.
So who would you say you want to give flowers to help you get to where you at right now?
Man, I feel like it's so many. You know, I would say after I went through divorce, back about 7 years ago, it was a young lady that came in my life. She's my fiance now. And when her brother didn't have nothing, I was sleeping in a barbershop. I was sleeping, when I had to go see my kids in Fort Wayne, I was sleeping in the car. I'd go to a parking garage. I knew I had to pay the little money when I left, but I'd sleep in the parking garage just to kind of be close to my kids. And so, she'd be on the phone talking about, I'm going to stay up with you while you in that parking lot. You know what I mean? There's times she'll pay for me to get a hotel room, send me food to where I was at. So I'd have to say her. Also, again, my kids. Also, this may not be popular, but my ex-wife too. Yeah, she divorced me, but she's a good mother to my kids. And so, she is, she's held it down for my kids while I was in transition, having to pay the penalty for some of my poor choices, and then definitely people along the way that have helped me, my clients, you know what I mean? Also, like I said, the people at the Indianapolis Foundation that helped our organization get to where we was. We done acquired over $250,000 in 2 years. And that's rare. And I don't say it to stunt, but you know what? I'm not about to dim my light.
Yeah.
That's what God did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He used these folks down there to help our organization. You know what I mean? And like I said, the white brother, Eric Howard, I ain't mean to say white brother, but you know what I mean? He a brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He just kind of used his influence in the way that I feel like a lot of people who have influence should.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'm leaving some people out, but them the people that come to mind.
Yeah. But before you go, what you just said was important. You raised $250,000. I don't think you told us that to stunt.
Yeah.
But I think it's important that you told us that, because there's going to be people who are trying to get into this game that's going to feel like they're never going to get anything.
Absolutely.
They can look at your example and say, if he did it, I can do it.
Absolutely.
I'm going to have to go through them ups and downs. So if I keep on fighting, I'll be able to do it. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So who would you give flowers to?
First, man, all praise due to the Most High.
Absolutely.
First, and then baby girl. Without her, and again, another cliche saying, man, without her, my other half, and we ain't married, she my other half, I ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? She been through there, and we've been together since I was a senior in high school. So she done seen every stage of Brandon. You know what I'm saying? Every single stage of Brandon, she seen the good, the bad, the ugly, the positive, the negative, and she done rolled it out. And like he was saying, it's crazy that he said what he said, like having to sleep in the car. Done been there too, and she was, like, hey, at the end of the day, I know you. It's gonna shake. Something gonna shake. You know what I'm saying? Through 3 kids, man, overseas basketball, coming back, not knowing what I'm gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Because I was one of them kids like, nah, bro, basketball. That's it, basketball. I'm putting all my eggs in plan A. Ain't no plan B, ain't no plan C. It's basketball. But then plan A don't work. I'm coming home like, dang, I ain't got that little overseas money is, you know what I'm saying? So then it's for somebody to see that and still not look at me no different, you know what I'm saying, and really ride it out with me till from 18 to 36. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my dog. You know what I'm saying? So baby girl for sure. My big brother Bruce, dude pushed me, since we was kids, you know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing is, I'm gonna say that me and my brother don't even talk. You know what I'm saying? But the foundation that he put in me just to be a dog, like it still got me going to this day. You know what I'm saying? So big bro for sure. And my OG Keonby Thomas, and Eddie Hannon. Keonby Thomas and Eddie Hannon, man. So Keonby Thomas got me when I was like 10 years old. I was playing football. I really wasn't playing basketball. got me at 10 years old and did with me exactly what I'm trying to do with these other kids. You know what I'm saying? We right there in the heart of Brightwood. You know what I'm saying? He seen me like, man, who's this little long dude keep on walking down the street? You know what I'm saying? Snatched me up quick and got me together. You know what I'm saying? And then Eddie Hannon, you know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, my dog. He's my AAU coach. He just died this year. He had a foundation, ELA Sports. It was a nonprofit, and he just did all type of sporting events around the city, man. But dude, when I say if I didn't have my father, he would have been the closest thing to a father to me, man. And dude really showed me the whole game of like business, like entrepreneur. Like I've been knowing him since I was like 10 years old too, and he was cool with my pops. You know what I'm saying? They hooped together and everything, but like he never. I always be like, man, what did Eddie do? He never had a job. I always had a Corvette. Always this, but it would just come. He had his own sports organization. Played at Oklahoma State. Good dude, man. So them right there for sure got the biggest impacts, man. The biggest influences on who I am today, man, and just the way that I grind, the dog in me, man. Just the never say die or never say quit demeanor and attitude. Like it's all owed to them. You know what I'm saying? Without them, I wouldn't be the person that I am today and operate the way that I am. Straight up.
And the reason why I asked that is because when you're going through this entrepreneur grind, you got a lot of tense moments. And you may not tell the people who've helped you enough that they've helped you, just because you going through it.
Absolutely.
So, and then you may tell them in private.
Yeah.
But this gives a person an opportunity. This is going to live forever.
Yeah.
That in public, I appreciate you. You helped me get here. You helped me. And they need to hear that.
Absolutely.
Because one thing that I learned, I know in my relationship, if you don't got that entrepreneurial bug, you don't understand it at all.
Yeah.
So the roller coaster that I've been on, my family been on that roller coaster too, and they didn't ask for it. They don't even understand why they own it. I see it. Even though I know, man, I done crashed 15 times. Man, my head is bleeding. They look, oh, man, what's going on? I patch myself up and get up the next day and do it all over again.
Yep.
And they looking like, what is going on? So I feel like, no, y'all need to know that I appreciate y'all. I ain't got to where I need to be at yet.
Yeah.
But where I've gotten, I wouldn't have gotten it without y'all. So that's why I want everybody who come on this show to be able to tell their people,
Absolutely.
man, I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you for believing in me, because this is my dream.
Yeah.
You know, I say this to people before. Y'all ever heard of Bill Mays?
Yeah. Dude used to sell OxyClean, ain't it?
No, Bill Mays, he owned Mays Chemicals.
Oh.
Bill Mays probably one of the most successful black dudes in the history of Indiana. And I was having a conversation with him, and he was telling me about him and his wife, his story. I think his wife gave him like $10,000, start Mays Chemical, but they made hundreds of millions.
Wow.
Eventually. And he was just telling me, you know, young blood, don't expect your wife to see it how you see it. And I was like, well, what you mean? You know, that's the support system. He said, when you go to sleep at night, when you wake up in the morning, do you expect her to have the same dream as you when y'all both go to sleep? I was like, no. He said, you can't expect her to have the same dream as you when it comes to this entrepreneur. Blew my mind, changed my thinking, because I was thinking, this is me. I chose to do this. I can't expect them to see it how I see it. So that's why I try. I probably need to do a better job, like we all probably do.
Yeah.
It's just thank you. I appreciate you.
Right.
Appreciate your support. And then once you get to where you're trying to go, then you can show them in a way that you want to show them, but you still give them that verbal, thank you. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, especially men, have a hard time with that, because something you kind of said towards the end, a lot of us have that mindset of, once I get there, then I can do everything I want to do for you.
Yeah.
But not kind of giving them that
along the way,
that encouragement along the way.
Yeah. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think that we all don't appreciate, but what we think they want is what we got in our mind. They want this, they want this. Once I can give it to them, then I'll show them. But no, we gotta.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and I think that people's watching gonna, You know, that's what we're doing it for. We're trying to help
Absolutely.
somebody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, I done bumped my head, made a lot of mistakes, bad decisions, but we here. We keep fighting. So I appreciate you, good brothers,
Absolutely.
for coming out today.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think this was a very insightful conversation. It was a real conversation. It was a responsible conversation.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't waste time talking about stuff that don't matter.
Absolutely.
You know, you only got a certain amount of time to really get down to the heart of the matter. And I think we did that. But that's because y'all been here.
Right.
So I appreciate y'all. So again, we appreciate you both for coming on. We appreciate everyone. Hopefully you're going to tune in. You're going to learn a lot about the nonprofit, entrepreneurship. You're going to learn how to navigate the ups and downs. And hopefully you just appreciate the real candid dialogue that we had. Appreciate you all. See you on the next time.